Am I the a-hole for having zero compassion for my deceased MIL friends? Am I the a-hole? My MIL passed away in April. She was a nice woman, but we were not friends. That's a whole separate am I the a-hole, lol. Her only friends were her cats and her BF cats' friends, with the exemption of one lady who she met many years ago through her husband who passed 20 plus years ago. My husband and I have 3 children. The eldest died in a car accident at the age of 16, 6 years ago. Not his fault. Since the passing of our son, his mother began to pawn her brief off on my husband, and they didn't have a relationship for 2 years. Sometime about 3 years ago, my MIL decided to let her own friend and her husband move in with her. They don't have jobs, credit cards, driver's licenses, or an education. I really have zero compassion for these people. They basically done nothing in their 60 plus years of life and put them in a better situation that they are. Now that my MIL is gone, my husband and only child owns the house. We need these people gone so we can sell it. I have been paying all the bills and encouraging them over 4 months that they need to find a new home. This week, we decided to no longer pay for the cable and internet bill for $225 a month. She called desperately begging us to please turn the TV stations back on because that's all we have, which would require a $250 startup deposit, and we aren't paying this bill anymore. I called her back and told her that her main focus needs to be finding a new home. I take great pleasure in knowing that I have taken their own enjoyment away. They need to find new friends and new home. Am I the a-hole?
Ash, I think you were fine until you said, I take great pleasure in knowing that I have taken their only enjoyment away. That seems really petty and icky, honestly. OP definitely needs to get a lawyer and start the eviction process. These people are not going to leave voluntarily, and not because they're malicious or calculating. They have no life skills and no knowledge of how to find a new place to live. In addition to getting a lawyer, OP should investigate community resources that might help the MIL's friends. Not her job and she shouldn't have to do that, but if her goal is to get them out of the house, she should do anything she can to help them find somewhere else to live. Just had to look into this. Eviction moratorium only applies if there is a lease with a designated time period, say a 1-year lease. It does not apply to anyone month to month or, in this case, likely no lease at all. OP can have them evicted, but as others pointed out, it could be costly to hire an attorney. I would suggest finding an attorney who will give you a free consult so you know how much it will cost and how long it will take. You might want to consider offering them a lesser amount if they will vacate by a specific date. You could also Google to see if you need an attorney at all. In the meantime, you can also talk to the utility companies about shutting those off. Check to see if there is an extra charge to have them turned back on. What you need to be concerned about is how much damage are they causing in the meantime. Good luck with this and NTA. Just because they took advantage of your MIL does not mean you owe them anything. Ash, they need to move out, but there's a happy medium between paying their bills and having no compassion for them whatsoever, and taking great pleasure in knowing that you have taken their only enjoyment away is disturbing. You do have to evict these people, you do not have to become an who gets pleasure from making others miserable. ESH exactly, serve them with an eviction notice, give them the legally required 30 days, and be done with it. At a minimum they can get in touch with social services in that time. These are elderly people who do not have the means or know how to support themselves. It's not OP's responsibility, but are taking glee in making their lives hellish to drive them out of the house, makes them a giant asshole as well. These people literally took advantage of the mother-in-law for years. They're moochers. I can't believe people are complaining about this when they say stuff like this all the time on petty revenge or pro-revenge. It's literally just cable and it's not OP's responsibility. After 4 months of having to pay bills for people that aren't even family, I would be sick of it. At least it's one little thing that can make him feel slightly better about this situation. You shouldn't even have to do that. Evict them. They'll have 30 days to get out. Just be careful that they don't destroy all of MIL belongings when they leave. If she had anything of value, you have a right to go get it before they sell it or take it with them when they leave. Honestly, I wouldn't even be paying the water or electric at this point. It's not your responsibility and these people will leech every dime off of you that they can and probably destroy the house before they leave. You have been more than kind to pay their bills this long. Enough is enough. Freeloaders don't care about anything but getting other people to take care of their problems. Go to the house, take anything of value, including furniture and TVs, small appliances, etc., and tell them they have 30 days to get out and send a formal eviction notice. NTA at all. The people saying YTA are crazy. Just because you found satisfaction in cutting off the cable does not put you in the wrong. I would be super satisfied too if two people were living in my property for free, expecting me to pay their bills for them for nothing. I have no compassion for them either. The only way you'd be an asshole for taking enjoyment in cutting off the cable and internet, in my personal opinion, is if they were seriously trying to find a job and other living accommodations and were making a real effort to leave and help themselves, and you only cut it off to hold it against them, and because you could. If they are working with you, then there is no reason to be cruel, and you could have given them a notice that you will stop paying X services by X date. But if they are just chilling, sitting on the sofa all day, watching TV, and ignoring you, and expecting you to just keep paying, then hell yeah. Cut it off and feel smug. TV and internet wouldn't be all they have if they would act like adults and make any kind of effort whatsoever to support themselves. Besides, they are still getting free water and electricity and trash removal at your expense. You aren't a monster. At 60 plus years old, they're living like a couple of teenagers with no job, no savings, no car, no license, and no credit, while sitting under someone else's roof for free. You are allowed to be irritated after being nice to them and trying to extract them for months. NTA for having zero compassion. And I'd point out that if they're hysterical about not having cable, they're obviously not making the slightest effort to move out. Info and just out of curiosity, so what happened to Mel's cats? You don't sound like the kind of person who would be taking them in, so I assume they're the quasi-tenant's problem.